Hello everyone and welcome to English Acquiring channel. In this video, we are going to study but group conjunctions. Yes, there are a lot of conjunctions that we use just like but. In the previous video, we were going to study and group conjunctions. I was going to talk about and group conjunctions, but I mentioned the noun clauses. I don't know why. Maybe because my mind was very busy with the noun clauses because of their importance. They are really essential. Yes, maybe because, yes, we can use them just like all the other normal nouns as subject of a sentence, object of a sentence. Yes, it is really essential and useful that we use a clause just like a noun as a subject and as an object of a sentence. Maybe because of this, I started my explanation or the purpose of the video as noun clauses, but of course it was a mistake and sorry for that. Now today, yes, we are going to try to acquire but group conjunctions to express opposing ideas or opposing events, opposing situations. Yes. Okay, all right. Hello and welcome back. Let's go on to the first page of our presentation. Okay. Yes, the slide says inversion table. They say that an inversion table stretches the spine. What else does it do? And it is said that, or they say that, it releases tension. Okay, so this and or furthermore, moreover, similarly, it is said that it releases tension. Yes. It stretches the spine to remove the pain or backache. But now this is our subject today, but they also say that it may cause a pressure in the eyes and ears. So this is an opposing idea. Okay. Now, the gift says, we obviously have very different ideas, very different approaches, very different perspectives, outlooks, okay, views. Okay, do you and Donald have similar or dissimilar, contrasting, different ideas, opposing ideas? We have dissimilar ideas. We have contrasting ideas. Okay. Now, trip to Roman number 2, conjunctions to join contrasting, different, dissimilar ideas, not similar ideas, with but, of course, the most famous one, the most common one, and 90%, 80% we use but. But in some situations, of course, it will be better to use one of those here on this page. For example, there are 20 expressions that we can use instead of but. Okay. However, for example, nevertheless, nonetheless, notwithstanding, on the other hand, still, yet, yes, at the same time, all the same, in spite of this, in spite of that, whereas, on the contrary, for all that, given that, granted that, in spite of the fact that, despite the fact that, you can, for example, Of course, we will see their different structural usage as well. For example, we can immediately put however in place of but, like this. This house is suitable for you. This is a positive idea, positive situation. This house is suitable for you, but can you afford the rent on your own? Or however, can you afford the rent on your own? Nevertheless, can you afford the rent on your own? Okay, let me read it without question. This house is suitable for you, but you can't afford the rent on your own. Okay. So the second part has got a negative meaning. Okay, it's high time you pay the rent. Yes, we have just learned them in hypothesizing presentation connected with hypothesizing. It's high time you pay the rent. Do you have enough money to pay for it? Do you have enough money to pay for it? Yes, time to pay the rent also means we can express, we can convey the same meaning with it's high time, it's about time, or it's time you pay the rent now. Okay. Now let's start from this page studying but group conjunctions. For example, this house is suitable for you. However, can you afford to rent on your own? No, unfortunately, I can't afford to rent on my own. Maybe we can rent it with 2 or 3 other friends. Okay, the others are, regardless of the fact that though, although, even though, okay, by making an although clause or even though clause, while, of course, here, while means but, okay, even if, even so, no matter where, no matter when, no matter how, no matter what, wherever, whenever, however, whatever, okay. In spite of, despite, yes, alone, okay, regardless, for all, given, granted, but granted plus a noun, object pronoun, or noun clause, yeah, or verb ing, not but, the 41st. The 41st one is not but. For example, I am not a teacher, but a learner is also possible. Okay. It means I am not a teacher, but I am a learner. Okay. Two opposing ideas, two opposing messages. Yeah. Okay. Conjunctions to join contrasting ideas. Yes. Again, with here, for example, but yes, the most famous one. Who said this? John Billings said a beautiful sentence. Our necessities are few, but our wants are endless. Do you see the different meanings here? Our necessities are few, not a few, okay, few, okay, but our wants are endless. He didn't say even a lot, okay, endless, okay, really meaning. Okay, Roman number 2. This way of learning English takes time. Okay, this is an idea. This is a message. This way of learning English takes time. Still, yet, but, still, can't we say that it is a better way? Yes, we can say that it is a better way. So, this way of learning English takes time. Still, we can say that it is a better way. But we can say that it's a better way. Takes time, but it is a better way. However, it is a better way. of learning English. Now, however, again, Zabe is rather old, okay? Being old is a situation. However, he remembers the past very well. Okay, this is another situation. Okay. As you know, I almost never do sports. Nevertheless, okay, I generally buy expensive trainers and sweatsuits. But what is the use of buying them? Okay, this is an opposing situation, action, event. Let me read it once more. As you know, I almost never do sports. Nevertheless, I generally buy expensive trainers and sweatsuits. Okay, Thucydides said that by using nevertheless in place of but, maybe because it is more effective. Okay. Those who really deserve praise are the people who, while human enough to enjoy power, nevertheless pay more attention to justice than they are compelled to do by their situation voluntarily. They pay attention to justice voluntarily, sincerely. Okay, Bengi rarely studies his lessons. Nevertheless, he always gets good grades. Do you see the contradiction here? Do you see the opposition here? Bengi rarely studies, almost never. Bengi almost never studies his lessons. Nevertheless, he always gets good grades. Yes. For nonetheless, being on a fish boat and rowing it is exciting. Being on a fish boat and rowing it is exciting. Nonetheless, cleaning the nets is boring. Yeah, it is really difficult. I'm sure it is really difficult to clean the nets. Okay, with notwithstanding, just like nonetheless, nevertheless, notwithstanding, okay. There is no doubt that you are a great story writer. Notwithstanding, you should stop imitating my stories. You should stop copying, plagiarizing my stories. Stop copying me. Stop copying. Yeah. They are like twins. Okay, on the other hand, Murat spends a lot of money extravagantly. On the other hand, he has lots of debts. Yeah. If I were Murat, I would try to get out of my debts. Yes. If I were Murat, I would try to get rid of. Yeah. Get rid of my debts is also a better expression. Still, yes, we love to be natural. Still, we love to change the nature. We love to be natural, yet we love to change the nature. We love to be natural, but we love to change the nature. Living in the countryside is good for health, still yet, but it has some disadvantages. Okay. Yet, the world hates the world hates change, yet it is the only thing that has brought progress, development. Charles F. Kettering said this. Okay, banks and riches are chains of gold, yet they are chains. They are not but chains. Yes, banks and riches are chains of gold, yet chains, just chains, not gold. Okay. Living in the countryside is good for health, yet it has some disadvantages. Living in the countryside is good for health, but at the same time, it has some disadvantages. But on the other hand, it has some disadvantages, or notwithstanding, it has some disadvantages. However, it has some disadvantages. All the same, living in the countryside is good for health. All the same, it has some disadvantages. From number two, living in the countryside is good for health. All the same, it has some disadvantages. It is in spite of this. The couple are rather old. In spite of this, they work very hard. Living in the countryside is good for health. In spite of this, it has some disadvantages. Okay, all right. Anyway, let's go on. 12. In spite of that, living in the countryside is good for health. In spite of that, it has some disadvantages. Or in spite of this, it has some disadvantages. Kerime is only a child. In spite of that, she works as hard as an adult, or she reads as much as an adult. Okay, 12 with various means while on the contrary, while at the same time, while on the same. Okay. Good can exist without evil. Yeah, Thomas Aquinas said this. It's an excellent saying. Good can exist without evil, whereas evil cannot exist without good. So, in order that there is evil, there must be good. And if good is neglected, or if good is ignored, or if good is spoiled, is corrupted, then evil comes about. Okay. And there is another good saying, a wise saying by Hazreti Ebu Bekir. Negligence is deprivation. Negligence is deprivation. So we should not, or we shouldn't neglect good. Not to deprive of good. Okay. Moderate, relaxed life style and balanced diet result in health with happiness. Whereas, yes, on the contrary, excessive worrying lifestyle, eating casual snacks, and mental stress results in illness with unhappiness. Ekrem was still working on the project, whereas it was his off day. Okay, with on the contrary, the guide wasn't impolite. Okay, this is a fact. The guide wasn't impolite. On the contrary, he was very kind. Okay, the guide wasn't impolite. Yes, to express the reality. This is not reality then. The guide wasn't impolite. On the contrary, he was very kind. Yes, to stress, to emphasize that he was very kind. Okay, you see the message here? Contrary to the fact, we can say that like it, contrary to the fact, as opposed to the common belief, for example, the guide wasn't impolite. Okay, so we can say the guide wasn't impolite. On the contrary, He was very kind. Okay. Shouting before the children wasn't a good behavior. On the contrary, it was a big mistake. Yes. Okay, contrary to popular belief. Contrary to popular belief. Contrary to a noun or ing, verb ing. Contrary to popular belief, polluted air, water, and land can be refined. We can do it. It can be done. Contrary to popular belief, a desert can be an attractive place. Contrary to your opinion, contrary to your perspective, contrary to your approach, I don't believe that a magic spell has got an effect on things and people. No one casts a spell on nobody. That is, no one can change nobody and nothing by casting a spell. Okay, contrary as a noun, they say Selim is guilty, but I believe the contrary of it. Yeah, the contrary. Unless there is evidence to the contrary, we have to believe him. Yes. Unless there is evidence to the contrary, we have to believe him. Now, conservatives versus liberals. Conservatives versus liberals. In contrast to, versus or compared with or as opposed to, in contrast to. So comparatives in contrast to liberals. We can also say like this, conservatives compared with liberals, or conservatives as opposed to liberals. Okay, for example, Michael is imaginative in contrast to his wife. Yes, full stop. Michael is imaginative in contrast to his wife. So we understand that his wife is not conservative, but his wife is a liberal. Okay. His wife who is conservative, yeah. Michael is imaginative in contrast to his wife who is conservative. Okay. Means just the opposite of Michael. If we put a period after his wife, it is also clear. Michael is imaginative in contrast to his wife. Full stop. So we understand that his wife is conservative, not imaginative. Two, the wooden goods are healthy. The wooden goods are healthy in complete contrast to metal ones. In complete contrast to. The color and size of the tent was such a contrast to his colorless and tiny one. Thanks, Tarık's old car had been safe and durable. By contrast, the new imported car, which was large but light. In the story, the intelligent girl is contrasted with the half-humane but half-boy. Milk is useful and tasty, contrasting with flavored Coke. The problems are the problems here contrast sharply with the problems there. Yes. In contrast plus subject, verb, object, a clause. Yes. In contrast clause. The coastal areas have mild winters. In contrast, the central plains have severe winters. Let's put but and read it again. The coastal areas have mild winters, but the central plains have severe winters. In contrast with your belief, that clause again. Okay. In contrast with your belief that we will catch no fish, I am confident that we will succeed in catching a lot of fish. Yes, and then we will give the good news by saying, what's for dinner? and it will be easy to answer that question. Fish, there is fish for dinner. Okay. My God, that's a lot of fish. Yeah. No fish, no fish, no fish. It's a pessimistic idea. Okay, conversely, or on the contrary, inversely, plus subject, verb, object. So we can say that conversely clause. We can make conversely clauses, on the contrary clauses, inversely clauses. Okay. Those items of news might harm his reputation. Conversely, they could give him a lot of free advertisement. A joyful person will be more productive. Conversely, or on the contrary, a productive person will be joyful. Someone who is smiling becomes happy. Conversely, someone who is happy smiles. Yeah, the opposite is also true. Okay, the individual who doesn't like working does not feel joy of life. Conversely, an individual who doesn't feel the joy of life does not like working. They are lazy. So they are unhappy. They don't feel the joy of life. Is there anybody who holds the converse, opposite opinion? Yeah, is there anybody who has the converse, who supports the converse opinion, the opposite opinion? An adjective. I will take into consideration, yeah, take something into consideration. I will take into consideration the converse of what you have said. The opposite of what you have said. Do you think it is easy to converse sensibly and sincerely with people who have got extremely different lifestyles? Do you think it is easy to converse sensibly and sincerely with people who have got extremely different lifestyles? Of course, it is possible, but of course, it might. Possible, but difficult. Okay. Yes, converse. Do you see it has another meaning? To converse, to talk, to chat with people, to converse with people, to have a conversation with people. But here, conversely, or just converse is the opposite meaning. Okay. 15, for all that, Ceyhun is wealthy, so for all that close, okay? For all that Ceyhun is wealthy, he is still unhappy. For all that Julie promised, she did nothing. Yeah. Given that, when considered that, given that, when considered that, granted that, I think it will come later. Okay, given that means when considered that. Granted as supposition, assumed, acknowledged. Okay. Given that Jennifer works hard, she is promoted, full stop. Yeah, given that Jennifer works hard, she isn't promoted. Yeah, it is an unexpected result. Okay. So Noam Chomsky said, given that, how is it that, how is it possible? Yeah. How is it that we know so little given that we have so much information? Yeah. When considered that we have so much information, how is it that we know so little given that, or when considered that we have so much information? So much information, so little knowing. 17, granted that, this one also has the same meaning. granted that, even supposing that, okay, even supposing that, granted that you have the advantage of freedom, you should remember your responsibilities. Yes, because we cannot think of freedom without responsibilities, and we cannot think of responsibilities without freedom, vice versa. The opposite is also true. Granting the truth of what Shermin has witnessed, we still cannot accuse Şahin and Şule. Şahin and Şule, it must be Şı in Turkish, Şule, of entering the office by force. It is unacceptable. 18, in spite of the fact that they watched the bear dance with admiration, they couldn't take the photo of them. This is an opposing situation. They opposite to each other. Despite the fact that his job involves many risks, he was still working on the project. Yes. Now, children right to education. Yeah, children rights or children educational rights. And children have right to education. Child rights. Okay. RTE, right to education for children. Okay, 20, regardless of the fact that there are severe conditions, challenging conditions, hard conditions, those children have got the right to this education. We shouldn't neglect it. We should keep that good principle. We should follow that good principle. 21. Even so, okay. Though it was very cold, although it was very cold, or even though it was very cold, despite the fact that it was very cold, the team went out for a research. It was very cold. Though, this is also possible, yeah. Okay. In their speech, the team went out for a research, full stop. It was very cold, though. Or, though it was very cold, in just one sentence. In number 2, there are two separate sentences. But in number 1, there is one complete sentence with a complete message as a compound sentence. Let me read it once more. Though it was very cold, the team went out for a research. Okay. I have a lot of things to finish. Full stop. We can meet for dinner, though. They had a little food and drink. They managed to cross the desert door. The dog was barking fiercely. None of us paid attention, though. Yeah. Though the dog was barking fiercely, none of us paid attention. Though the dog was, yes, though I read it again without seeing the sixth one. Though the dog was barking fiercely, none of us paid attention. Okay, although computers are now used widely in schools, did I say complex sentence? Because though clause are dependent clauses, so they are complex clauses. Of course, the headings are not important. What important is that we can acquire them we can use them easily and fluently. Okay. Although computers are now used widely in schools, children are prone to enjoying the trees, flowers, insects, and birds in the countryside. Yes. Although, or even though Sertaç had a talent for music, his parents wanted him to be a computer engineer, just opposing ideas, opposing situations. Okay. Even though schools can be expected to use the internet responsibly, the sense of responsibility itself needs self-training and self-assertiveness. Yes, exactly true. Okay, 24. While here, while means on the other hand. Okay, not as and when, while. Adverb clause. Okay, but here to express an contrasting situation. While reading books is very essential for me, yeah, just like although reading books is very essential for me, I cannot set aside time for it regularly. Set aside time means leave time for it regularly. Okay. We judge ourselves by what we. Do you see the importance of noun clauses? Yeah. We judge ourselves by it, for example. What is it? It is this. What we feel capable of doing. We judge ourselves by what we feel capable of doing, while others judge us by what we have already done, according to the result. Yes, by the way, let me remind that our next video will be about so group conjunctions, because group conjunctions, sorry, because and then so groups, and cause and result conjunctions. Okay. Let me read it once more. We judge ourselves by what we feel capable of doing, while others judge us by what we have already done. They judge us according to the result, effect, consequence. Okay. Number three, people who know little. Jean-Jacques Rousseau said this, okay? People who know little are usually great talkers. They talk on and on and on. Okay. While men who know much say little. Yes. Why saying? Is it possible to be conservative while being imaginative? Yes, why not? I am sure it is possible to strike a harmony between being conservative and being imaginative. The imaginative, so the imaginative conservative, okay, the here makes it plural, okay? The people who are both imaginative and conservative. An ideal personality, I think, is like this, by finding the balance, harmony between imagination and conservatism. Okay, 25, even. Free will and willpower. Free will is all about our preferences, choices, okay? Willpower is about our desire, our motivation, motivation for doing something or to do something, motivation to do something. Okay. Even if 25, even if you are tired and sleepy, you can still pay attention to the matter by forcing your willpower, yeah, by trying to be self-motivated. internal, intrinsic, yeah, relating to our inside. Not, for example, the experts say that there are two motivations. One of them is extrinsic motivation. The other one is intrinsic, internal motivation. This is the best one, of course. Okay, even so, I've told you lots of things. Even so, I have much more things than they are to say. So let's change E into A. Yes, like this. It's okay now. Then close. Okay. Then they are to say. Now, no matter where, these are really practical. I really advise you to use them in at least 10 sentences. Okay. No matter where or wherever or just where. For example, where you live, okay, where you live, you should have a good environment. Or isn't it better now saying like this, for example, wherever you live, you should have a good environment. Or I think this is much more uh, influential or effective. No matter where, okay? No matter where you live, you should have a good environment. Okay. No matter when or whenever. No matter when you come around, you can use this computer. No matter how, to what extent, to whatever degree. No matter how young and strong you are, you should pay attention your health. Or no matter how quickly you walk, I can keep up with you. No matter how you go to work, it won't be easy for you from such a far point. Now let's change them. For example, instead of saying no matter how, however, okay? However young and strong you are, you should pay attention your health. To however quickly you walk, or just how quickly you walk, I can keep up with you. However you go to work, it won't be easy for you from such a far point. Okay, let's not mix it with the conjunction. Just however instead of but here means however means no matter how. Okay, okay, no matter how much we have, we still want more. Yeah, does the gift say the same thing? No matter how much we get, we always want more. Yeah, okay, no matter how much we have, we still want more. This is the natural one of our natural characteristics, okay, features. We are humans. We always want more and more, more and more. Okay. Now, no matter what you write, no matter what you write, it is a matter of putting words in a certain order so that the reader will be interested in what you are writing, whatever you are writing, no matter what you are writing. 30, no matter what you write, please show them to your teacher. Wherever or no matter where, wherever you live, you should have a good environment. Whenever, no matter when. Whenever, yes, we did it, okay? Whenever you come around, you can use this computer. Whenever I have a headache, I take an aspirin. If ever I have an headache, I take an aspirin. If ever I have a headache, I may take an aspirin. Yeah, you are very familiar with them. I am sure you have acquired them. The first type of if clause. Or zero type. If ever I have a headache, I take an aspirin. This is my habit. But this is the first type is about, as you know, it's about a real situation. If ever I have a headache in the future, I don't know, I am not sure about it now, but if ever I have a headache tomorrow, for example, I will take an aspirin. I can take an aspirin. Okay. This is not my habit, but I will do it. Okay. But zero type is my habit. Okay. If you don't pay attention to your health now, someday your health will get your attention. Yeah, will attract your attention. However, to what extent, to whatever degree. However young, yes, no matter how young and strong you are, you should pay attention to your health. However quickly you walk, I can keep up with. Yes, we did it while we were studying, no matter how. Okay, anyway, because of their importance, let me finish it again. However you go to work, it won't be easy for you from such a far point. However, however much we get, we still want more. No matter how much we get, we still want more. Whatever you write, please show them to your teacher. No matter what you write, please show them to your teacher, or whatever, just what you write, and the thing you write, okay? The thing you write, please show them to your teacher. In spite of 40 cats, yeah, in spite of having 40 cats, also possible. In spite of 40 cats, Kemal has bought a new one. In spite of having, yeah, 40, without seeing it, in spite of having 40 cats, Kemal has bought a new one. Despite having chickens in your garden, how could you buy a cat? Yeah, in spite of having chickens, although you have, okay? Although you have chickens in your garden, how could you buy a cat? This is an opposing attempt. Okay. Despite a cat, how could you buy a dog as a pet, for example? Despite its age, take a look at that black car, please. Despite its age, despite its age, this car runs well. But although it is old, this car runs well. It goes well. Regardless of having a cat in the room, how could you leave the kilo of liver and 2 kilos of fish in the room on the table? How could you do that? Regardless of having a cat in the room, how could you do that? Regardless the danger or of the danger, regardless the danger, Polat saved many people. Regardless discussing constantly, Emir and Emre are good friends. Yeah. Regardless of where you found that pocket knife, it belongs to Charles. I know this, and I say this. It belongs to him. Wherever you found it, no matter where you found it. Okay. For all the positive conditions, they are not pleased with each other. Although, yeah, they should be pleased with each other because all the conditions are positive. Okay. But there is an opposing situation, a different situation, different from the other. For all his efforts, he came last. Oh, yes, there is a contradiction here. Okay. Given the heavy fog, they drove away. Given being slim, Lily is always on a diet. Granted the hot weather, they insisted on wearing thick clothes. Granted his bitterness. Is something, is there something? Let's check it. Okay. Isn't, should there be E? Clothes. No, clothing. Clothes. Clothes. Okay. Okay. He says he is not a stunt man. Let's put man here, stunt man. He says he is not a stunt man, but an actor. Yeah. What does he say? Let's read. Give. I am nothing without my stunt team. Yeah, stunt team. I am nothing. I am an actor, but I am nothing without my stunt team. So I have a stunt team with, for example, 10 stuntmen. Stuntmen. Okay. For a mechanic repairs car engines. Yes, a mechanic repairs, fixes, mends car engines. Whereas, or while, but on the other hand, however, nevertheless, nonetheless, notwithstanding, okay, an engineer uses scientific knowledge to develop machines. So, two different situations, or two situations different from each other. What is the difference between a librarian and a bookseller? Yes, a librarian is a person who works in a library, whereas while on the other hand, a bookseller is a person who sells, who buys and sells books. The flowers can be photographed. Sentence. Yes, they also really important. The flowers can be photographed easily. However, can the birds be photographed easily? Of course, it is difficult to photograph birds. So I am sure the birds can be very difficult, very difficult. The birds can be photographed with difficulty. 6, of course, the plants and flowers will be seen clearly in the savanna. Nevertheless, will the animals, including birds, be also seen clearly? Of course, they will not be seen clearly. Okay. Now, I think, yes, paragraph like sentences, or a group of sentences or paragraphs shows us the functions of that but group conjunctions clearly, okay, or the functions of all kind of conjunctions. Let's take a look at this paragraph like speech of A. A. My favorite dish is grilled fish. My favorite dish is grilled fish, not fried fish, grilled fish with green salad, because now, of course, we will study it soon. Again, because group conjunctions, because it is healthy and high in protein. We also need fruit and vegetables because they are high in vitamins. I don't I don't prefer junk food such as, or like, hamburger, pizza, chocolate cake, and chips. Although they are high in calories, they are lacking in nutrition. That's why, soul group conjunction, okay, that's why they are unhealthy. However, but conjunction, they are cheap, easily obtainable, besides easily prepared. What is your favorite dish? Why? What do you think about traditional food and modern eating habits? Yes. Let's make just one sentence. Traditional food is healthy, but uh, modern eating habits are cheap. Okay, quiz time. First question. Blank, they do not know even a word of English. They are in need of an interpreter's. They are in need of an interpreter's assistance. They do not know even a word of English. They are in need of an interpreter's assistance. So, because group conjunctions with since they do not know. Okay. Two, the deputy manager changed the strategy into a more practical one so as to get rid of the gloomy situation they were in. So group conjunctions to express purpose. Okay, for example, so that, for example, let's uh, rewrite it with so that. The deputy manager changed the strategy into a more practical one so that they would get rid of gloomy situation they were in. Okay, we will study them after 2 or 3 videos late. Okay, in the following videos. They stored water. 3. They stored water in several containers, lest there should be water storage in the village. Best. Okay. They stored water in several containers, lest there should be water shortage in the village. Yes. If there should be, or with regard to, there should be a, no, there's an expression, but I couldn't remember it. Yeah, lest means, lest, let's check it out. Much better. What does dictionary say? Lest. Lest means for fear that. Yeah, I couldn't remember. For fear that. Okay, for fear that. Or in case. Do you remember? We have studied them. Okay, in case. In case that. For fear that. Okay. So they stored water in several containers in case that there should be water shortage. Shortage means, as you know, absence in the village. Okay. For fear that there should be water in case that there should be water shortage in the village. Okay. For the ship carry life jackets or life belts, yeah, so that the passengers and the crew can escape in the case of emergency. Yes, I really advise you to look them up. Look them up in dictionaries. They have got beautiful meanings and with nuances. Okay. Although there are, for example, 41 expressions to express for opposing situations, each of them has got a nuance. Okay. A specific meaning. 5, the assistants worked very well, although they were not fully equipped. Okay. It's time to enrich our vocabulary. You ready to build your vocabulary? Okay, let's start with impulsive. As an adjective means rash, brash, hasty. We shouldn't be hasty. impetuous, the opposite of careful, cautious, precautious, alert. Okay. What we need is being cautious. Impulse as a noun, a sudden strong desire, pressure, pressure, compulsion, okay, desire to do something without thinking about whether it is sensible thing. It is a sensible thing to do. Yes, on impulse is the opposite of on purpose, deliberately, intentionally. On impulse is the opposite of on purpose, comma, or deliberately, intentionally. Okay, resolve as a verb, make a firm decision to do something, determine. Solve, answer, dissolve. I resolve to learn a foreign language because I live not, I live here. I resolve to learn a foreign language before I live here, not because. Okay, what do you resolve to do? Okay, what are you determined to do? Something like this. Compulsive as an adjective, obsessive, habitual, irrational, uncontrollable. Mania as a noun, an excessively intense enthusiasm, interest or desire, a craze, an obsession, insanity, fixation, preoccupation, madness, obstacle, barrier, barricade. Okay. Effort to do something, you know this, have enough money to buy or pay for something, have enough time to do something. Yes, it also means have enough time to do something. Habit, yes, I'm sure you know it very well. An action performed repeatedly and automatically, usually without awareness. Nurhan has a habit of, this is important, a noun of. Nurhan has a habit of feeling guilty after each shopping. Who has a habit of feeling remorse, regretfulness after each shopping? Yes, Mahmoud has a habit of feeling remorse after each shopping. Compulsion, with compulsion, an irrational motive for performing trivial or repetitive actions against your will, free will. Coercion, use of force. Hassan has a compulsion to eat sugary foods. Does he also feel a compulsion to share his sweets with other children? Yes, unfortunately, he also feels a compulsion to share his sweets with other children, although there is no sugar diets. Healing starts with self-awareness. Yeah, a nice motto. Healing starts with self-awareness. View as a verb, yes, you know it, I am sure, but let's try to acquire it better. See, look at somebody, something as something. For example, Tamer always views a hobby, an activity you enjoy doing, a hobby, as a form of emotional release from worry or pain. Who views shopping as a form of emotional relief? Unfortunately, Robert views shopping as a form of emotional release. They say that Robert is a shopaholic. Nejmi believes that credit card using is a must, is very vital. How does he view doing something, okay? How does he view buying shares of companies? He views it useful, helpful. Who ignores these shares? Robert ignores these shares. Robert ignores them. Ayhan's first impulse as a noun was to buy a poor quality wallet. What was Osman's first impulse? But on the contrary, Osman's first impulse was to buy a good quality wallet. Ayhan bought the good quality wallet. Did he buy it on impulse or on purpose? Of course, he bought it on purpose. Kenan's shopping habits do not cause any problems in his relationships. Whose shopping habits cause some problems in his relationships? Jahid's shopping habits cause some problems in his relationships. Michael has a habit of watching sports on TV all the time. Who has a habit of going shopping when they feel uncomfortable? Yasemin has a habit of going shopping when she feels uncomfortable. Determined as an adjective, decided, resolute, possessing much determination. David seems determined to spend, adjective to do. David seems determined to spend his money rationally, logically. Who seems undetermined to spend their money sensibly? Yeah, just by putting a subject here, you can answer it as well. I'm sorry that Sedat has got a mania for shopping. I'm sorry that Sedat has got an obsession for shopping. Who has got a mania for ties and hats? Simon has got a mania for ties and hats. How long has Nergis had a mania for perfumes and mirrors? Nergis has had a mania for them for 3 weeks. The way of buying things. Patricia is a careful shopper because she doesn't buy almost anything on impulse. Okay? Are you a carrier shopper or a careless shopper? I am a careful shopper, just like Patricia. Okay, because we see that, we understand that, we know that Patricia is a careful shopper. Who is an average shopper? Mahmoud is an average shopper. Average. Okay, Larry cannot afford to buy a yacht. Can he afford to go boating? Yes, he can afford to do. He has enough money to go boating. What can he afford? What can he afford to do? He can also afford to go shipping. Run out of, yeah, it is very practical. Run out of money, run out of time. Okay. For example, the first GIF on the left says, time is running out. Okay, but the one on the right, we are running out of time. Okay, do you see the difference between them? Time itself is running out, is passing, is flying like a bird. Yes, but here we are running out of time. Our time has been decreasing, has been less and less. Okay. Run out of time means finish, use or sell all of something so that there is none left. So this is unnecessary here. Not just so, but so that, okay? So that there is none. Oh, sorry, it's okay, not so that, so. Okay, sorry for that. So, as a result, therefore, that's why, okay? It's okay. So, that there is none left, okay? That you have no more, okay? As far as I know, Selim has already run out of money. Who is running out of patience? Yes, your neighbor is running out of patience. Who has run out of time? Unfortunately, that young man has run out of time. He has no time. He has no time to to have a discussion with you. Now, thank you. I hope it was helpful to you, and see you next time. Have a good day.